الله أكبر الله أكبر أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. Viewers, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah wa barakatuhu. Welcome to your favorite show, Islam and Society, on MTA Africa, Sierra Leone Studios. This program is aimed to look at the problems of the society, highlighting the social, moral, economic, and other issues disturbing the progress of humanity, and also the solutions workable presented by Islam. Today's discussion will center around the rights of the husband and wife. To make this program a success, I have two eminent personalities of the Ahmadiyya Muslim Jamaat in Sierra Leone. On my immediate right, I have Brother Musa Mahmoud Sahib, and also with me, I have Brother Amadou Alpha Sahib. Brothers, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. Welcome to the program Islam and Society.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Jazakumullah hasana jaza. We are appreciative of your time to be with us in today's program. Well, viewers, before we get the voices of our panelists in the studio, first, let us get the opinion of the public, of the general public, in respect of today's topic, the rights of husband and wife.
The man inside Sierra Leone, they can discharge the rights. Likewise, the woman, they also can discharge the rights. Now, for the man, mostly the rights where the man then gets, now for take care of the woman, them, really they can discharge the rights. Likewise, the woman, them no rights. They can take care of the home, manage the home inside Sierra Leone. Most women, 95%, all of them can discharge their rights.
In Sierra Leone, women have rights more than the men, especially the married women. They have rights more than their husband.
The men always considered women to be, they should not have any positive contributions to the family. Even if their contributions, what they want to contribute will be positive. But because of our country, the decisions taken by men to be the supreme body in our country. For instance, in the household, even if the woman is saying she's tired, the man is always what sees the right of the woman, is not seen. So that is always the case may be. And in any decision taken, the woman do not have much right to say. They are always obeying, say even if the husband is going in that negative way, the woman just have to comply. Even in the matrimonial home, there are some properties that may belong to the woman, but because of the surname that the woman carry in the society, they normally do not enjoy the bad rights of that particular property. So if you ask me as a whole, the woman in our country is not utilizing the right of the woman, is always seized by the men in the society.
Well, viewers, we've just heard the opinion of the general public. Let me take their opinion to panelists in the studios. Let me start with Brother Musa Mahmoud Sahib. We have just listened to what they've said. What is your take on their presentation?
Thank you for having me. Assalamu alaikum warahmatullah. Well, as far as I'm concerned, women have always been downtrodden in our society. They have always been denied their rights in the society. That is my own take as far as wives are concerned.
All right. What are Ahmad Alpha Sahib?
Yes, the rights we are talking about in society has always been a challenging issue, but women have always been people whom they look low upon in society, but Islam gives preference to those people in a higher esteem.
Jazakumullah hasana jaza. Like I've just mentioned, we discussed the right of husband and wife, basing it on contemporary society. But before that, we want to critically look at it from the Islamic perspective. What have we gathered in respect of the rights of wife and husband as far as Islam is concerned? I want to start with you, Brother Musa Mahmoud Sahib.
Thank you very much once more. I wish to thank you so much for this opportunity. Additionally, for us to elucidate further on the rights of husbands and wives. And as far as I'm concerned, the first responsibility goes to the husband, and which is the most basic one that normally endorses what a couple is, which is the mahar. And in any situation where you have to marry, the mahar is what you pay, which is the dowry, is what you pay to endorse that particular marriage, that finally you have reached the final conclusion of every decision or agreement in that particular relationship. And when you put that particular amount, you pay that amount, or any amount which is serving as the dowry, automatically that means you have endorsed the relation. And that's the first responsibility that every man should do before ever you say, I'm a husband to a particular woman. So additionally also, the Quran also in Surah Al-Nisa verse 5 emphasized also the responsibility of the man. He is there to provide the shelter, he is there to provide food, he is also there to provide clothing for the wife. That is also the responsibility the man has to do, or the husband has to do with relation to the wife. But like the wife also, what is on top of her head to do as a wife in terms of a responsibility is to be obedient and to be respectful as far as Islam mandates us. That is what is expected of the wife. So like when it comes to the living responsibility in terms of what the woman is to use for her day-to-day survival, it's fully the responsibility of the man to do that one. That is basically a point we could come from the Islamic point of view. And also additionally, when you talk about the woman, when normally people say, well, the woman and the man are equal. But when it comes to that equality also, they give you the responsibility that the man still has to do more when it comes to the responsibility. Because the woman should not go out fending for herself, should not go out trying to sell to provide for the family. You have to do that as far as Islam is concerned. It is your own responsibility to go out and cater for the family, not the woman catering for the family. But whatever indication, we expect, like I said earlier on, respect, obedience. That is the department of the wife to be doing. So like these are basic things that we're telling us that Islam wants us to be at par somehow in relation to having an amicable relationship in terms of where every other person enjoys their own rights based on what Allah has prescribed for them in the Holy Quran.
Like you mentioned, that the prescription therein first, Allah the Almighty emphasized on the need for marriage. That's before you cater for the need of the wife first, you must ensure that you do the marriage. And you mentioned the dowry. And also the Quran has explained explicitly the right of the husband and the right of the wife, like you've just highlighted. Now let me usher in Brother Amadou Alpha Sahib. Still, based on the Islamic perspective, what more have we gathered in respect of the rights of the wife and the husband?
Yeah, thank you very much. Looking at the perspective of Islam again, what my brother have just mentioned, the rights of woman and the man in the home are always shared, as he has mentioned earlier on. There was once during the time of the Holy Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Yes, there was a time a companion of the Holy Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam who came and asked the Holy Prophet that her husband, who was Abu Sufyan, was so stingy that even to provide for the family, the man was not providing food and other things for the family, commodities or necessities for the family. So what the Holy Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam advised her was that he said, you need to go and take the money or whatever wealth the man is having to feed the family. There is no sin for that, because the man was running away from his responsibility. So that one was very important. The Islamic society give preference to women to that extent that if there is any way they want to find anything difficult in the home, and the man, there are certain men, they look at it, they try to neglect their responsibilities in the home, that one is not a sin for you to take the money and take care. And the only thing the Holy Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam advised the woman should only take the one that is enough for the family and for the children. Then in fact, the Holy Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam even mentioned again in another hadith, he said, the best among the people of faith as those who treat their wives in a very good manner. So in that aspect, Islam gives a very good good preference to women in society in terms of marriage, at the end of the day, nobody should infringe in the rights of the women in the marriage home, as mentioned by my brother, which is stated in the Holy Quran. Women have the same right in the home just like the men. The only thing there is the men have to make as the custodian. They have to be the head, and they have to provide for that family. And if you are the head of the family, you have to make sure that the family has to live in a way that the home for the children and for the wife have to be in a good condition.
It is clear from what you've just explained that in Islam, there are rights reserved for the men and also for the women. So you put together, you say it is a collective responsibility from both ends. When the husband and wife play their collective responsibility, you will notice that their homes will flourish. And at the same time, the Holy Prophet also used it as a means to mention, the uprightness of an individual, that the best among you is that somebody who is best when it comes to the treatment of his family, including his wife and children. We thank you for that. Still with you. Now, that is what Islam has explained in respect of the right of the husband and the wife. But how do we examine today's world in respect of this same right we are discussing? What do we see? What is prevalent in today's society?
Yes, when we look at our society, preferably in Africa, when we look at our society, in the olden days, there was a time women have to bow down to greet their husbands in society. But when you look at when International Convention on Human Rights came and they were looking at the aspect of religion, and Islam to be precise, women, this 50-50 now is working as a way that women are no longer going to bow down to greet their husbands in the home. And even in our African society, whenever there is a gathering and a woman passing around, that woman has to bow down whenever she wants to pass around that society. But because of the Convention of Human Rights and Islamic societies, now we are looking at it that women are now having the same right wherever men can sit and discuss whatever relevant issues that are pertaining to society. They make mention of women, and they also have the right to sit there. That is very good in Islamic society. That is why Islam mentioned that even when you are talking about educational aspect of the men, it also make mention of women in society, because they are also very important in our society. When you look at the African perspective, and even the world, when we are looking about women, women are people, initially they were neglected, but when we look at the rights of them in the home, that is why no man takes decision in the home except he has to consult his wife, and whatever decision he has to take has to be in consonance with the wife's idea, and whatever they discuss has to be a uniform idea before ever they take that one to any place or anywhere they want to take it in the society or in the home.
All right, so basically it's like we are seeing a kind of gradual progression in terms of the right of both, not just the men, but also the women, in terms of application of what should happen in the home for peace and sanity to reign. Brother Musa Mahmoud Sahib, still on the same subject. We've just had what used to prevail in olden days. So what about now?
Thank you very much. We're talking about husbands and wives and their responsibilities or their rights. Here, nowadays, the current trend, I want to say, is not as befitting as the Islamic principles want them to be. Because why I'm saying this, of course, yes, we expect people to have their rights, like husbands, like I said earlier on, and wives also to have their rights, like I said earlier on. But in most cases, it's not happening that way. It's not happening in the sense when you look at our streets today and you look at the rate of divorces, you know it's as a result of people not taking care of their wives as they are supposed to take care of them. The same thing for the women. Women don't want to be in charge of any other person. They want to be on their own selves and be by themselves. And normally that is what is disturbing our societies now. Though, like when you go into the interior of our country, you still see women fending for the family, doing all the work in the farm, all over the place. So that will tell you also that people don't even countenance their own responsibilities as husbands to their wives. So as a result of that, you also have plenty challenges. As far as the women are concerned, they are taking care of the children, school business, and every other thing. So the challenge is still there. We need more education as far as Islamic education is concerned, even amongst Muslims. Because like our country, they say it's predominantly Muslim. Yeah. But when you look at the conduct of men, particularly husbands to their wives, you think there is some challenge and there is need for more preaching, if necessary, so that they will be able to transform themselves and try to behave according to the precepts of Islam.
So though there have been a kind of progress, but yet still it is not enough looking at today's world. Enough. And you mentioned the rate of the increase in divorce. Yes. That goes to show that either or the two parties are somehow negligent of their responsibilities when it comes to the home. Like you mentioned, sometimes the men do not play their responsibility as they should. And you mentioned the struggle of the African women when it comes to the home. And you also highlighted a very important point, which is the education, that both the husband and the wife need to be educated when it comes to their rights and responsibilities, how they should do them, how they should go about, and how they should work hand in hand in the home so that there will be peace and also there will be sanity. Well, viewers, that is the condition of today's world in respect of the rights of the husband and the wife. But what is the solution? Well, to get a workable solution presented by Islam, we listen to an address delivered by the Supreme Head of the Ahmadiyya Muslim Jamaat, Hazrat Mirza Masur Ahmad, may Allah be his helper, to the Jalsa Salana UK 2004 during the Lajna Imaila session. Have a look.
مسیح موعود علیہ الصلوۃ والسلام فرماتے ہیں کہ عورتوں کے حقوق کی جیسی حفاظت اسلام نے کی ہے ویسی کسی دوسرے مذہب نے قطعاً نہیں کی. مختصر الفاظ میں فرما دیا اللہ تعالیٰ نے کہ وَلَهُنَّ مِثْلُ الَّذِي عَلَيْهِنَّ کہ جیسے مردوں کے عورتوں پر حقوق ہیں ویسے ہی عورتوں کے مردوں پر ہیں. بعض لوگوں کا حال سنا جاتا ہے کہ ان بیچاریوں کو پاؤں کی جوتی کی طرح جانتے ہیں اور ذلیل ترین خدمات ان سے لیتے ہیں, گالیاں دیتے ہیں, حقارت کی نظر سے دیکھتے ہیں اور پردہ کے حکم ایسے ناجائز طریقے سے برتتے ہیں کہ ان کو زندہ درگور کر دیتے ہیں. چاہیے کہ بیویوں سے خاوندوں کا ایسا تعلق ہو جیسے دو سچے اور حقیقی دوستوں کا ہوتا ہے. انسان کے اخلاق فاضلہ اور خدا تعالیٰ سے تعلق کی پہلی گواہ تو یہی عورت ہوتی ہے. اگر انہی سے ان کے تعلقات اچھے نہیں ہیں تو پھر کس طرح ممکن ہے کہ خدا تعالیٰ سے صلح ہو. رسول اللہ صلی اللہ علیہ وسلم نے فرمایا ہے خیرکم لأہلہ, تم میں سے اچھا وہی ہے جو اپنے اہل کے لیے اچھا ہے. تو دیکھیں کتنی وضاحت سے آپ نے فرمایا کہ حقوق کے لحاظ سے دونوں کے حقوق ایک جیسے ہیں. اس لیے مرد یہ کہہ کر کہ میں قوام ہوں اس لیے میرے حقوق بھی زیادہ ہیں, زیادہ حقوق کا حقدار نہیں بن جاتا. جس طرح عورت مرد کے تمام فرائض ادا کرنے کی ذمہ دار ہے اسی طرح مرد بھی عورت کے تمام فرائض ادا کرنے کا ذمہ دار ہے. فرمایا کہ ہمارے ہاں جو یہ محاورہ ہے کہ عورت پاؤں کی جوتی ہے یہ انتہائی گھٹیا سوچ ہے, غلط محاورہ ہے. اس محاورے کا مطلب یہ ہے کہ جب عورت سے دل بھر گیا دوسری پسند آ گئی تو اس سے شادی کر لی, اسے چھوڑ دیا اور پہلی بیوی کے جذبات اور احساسات کا خیال ہی نہ رکھا گیا. تو یہ انتہائی گھٹیا حرکت ہے. عورت کوئی بے جان چیز نہیں ہے بلکہ جذبات احساسات رکھنے والی ایک ہستی ہے. ایک عرصے تک تمہارے گھر میں مردوں کو یہ سمجھایا ہے کہ ایک عرصے تک تمہارے گھر میں سکون کا باعث بنی, تمہارے بچوں کی ماں ہے, ان کی خاطر تکلیفیں برداشت کرتی رہی. اب اس کو تم ذلیل سمجھو اور گھٹیا سلوک کرو اور بہانے بنا بنا کر اس کی زندگی اجیرن کرنے کی کوشش کرو. تو یہ بالکل ناجائز چیز ہے. یا پھر پردہ کے نام پر باہر نکلنے پر ناجائز پابندیاں لگا دو. اگر کوئی مسجد میں جماعت کے کام کے لیے آتی ہے تو الزام لگا دو کہ تم نہیں کہیں اور جا رہی ہو. تو یہ انتہائی ایسی گھٹیا حرکتیں ہیں جو جن سے روکا گیا ہے مردوں کو. حالانکہ فرمایا کہ حالانکہ ہونا تو یہ چاہیے کہ عورت کا اس طرح سے تمہارا سلوک ہو جیسے دو سچے اور حقیقی دوستوں کا ہوتا ہے. جس طرح دو حقیقی دوست ایک دوسرے کے لیے قربانیاں کرنے کے لیے تیار ہوتے ہیں اس طرح تعلق رہنا چاہیے مرد اور عورت کو، کیونکہ جس بندھن کے تحت عورت اور مرد آپس کے بندھن میں بندھے ہیں وہ ایک زندگی بھر کا معاہدہ ہے، اور معاہدے کی پاسداری بھی اسلام کا بنیادی حکم ہے، اور معاہدوں کو پورا کرنے والے بھی اللہ تعالیٰ کے نزدیک پسندیدہ ٹھہرتے ہیں، اور کیونکہ ایک ایسا بندھن ہے جس میں ایک دوسرے کے رازدار بھی ہوتے ہیں، اس لیے فرمایا کہ اس لیے مرد کی بہت سی باتوں کی عورت گواہ ہوتی ہے کہ اس میں کیا کیا نیکیاں ہیں، کیا خوبیاں ہیں، کیا برائیاں ہیں، اس کے اخلاق کا معیار کیا ہے۔ تو حضرت اقدس مسیح موعود فرما رہے ہیں کہ اگر مرد عورت سے صحیح سلوک نہیں کرتا اور اس سے صلح صفائی سے نہیں رہتا، اس کے ساتھ اس کے حقوق ادا نہیں کرتا، تو وہ اللہ تعالیٰ کے حقوق کیسے ادا کرے گا؟ اس کی عبادت کس طرح کرے گا؟ کس منہ سے اس سے رحم مانگے گا خدا سے، جبکہ وہ خود اپنی بیوی پر ظلم کرنے والا ہو رہا ہے؟ اس لیے آقا حضرت صلی اللہ علیہ وسلم نے فرمایا ہے کہ تم میں سے وہی اچھا ہے جو اپنے اہل سے اچھا ہے، اپنی بیوی سے اچھا ہے۔ تو دیکھیں، یہ ہے عورت کا تحفظ جو اسلام نے کیا ہے۔ اب کون سا مذہب ہے جو اس طرح تحفظ دے رہا ہو عورت کو، اس کے حقوق کا اس طرح خیال رکھتا ہو؟
Well, viewers, we've just watched an highlight of Huzur's address at the Jalsa Salana UK 2004 during the Lajna Imaila session, and he has highlighted the responsibilities of both the husband and the wife in the home so that there will be peace and there will be tranquility. Well, I want to turn to my panelists and say Jazakumullah Sana Jaza, Brother Musa Mahmoud Sahib, and also Brother Amadou Alpha Sahib. Thank you very much for being part of today's program. Well, viewers, that is all time will permit for today's program. Until we come your way another time with another episode. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah wa barakatuhu.
Allahu Akbar.